Assalamu alaikum. My name is Priscilla Khadija Alukta. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I am the daughter of Jesse and Hafisa Alukta. Again, I was raised here in Los Angeles, and I went to school. I've never gone to a public school. I've only gone to Muslim schools. I went to the University of Islam, and I graduated there. And then I went to Sister Claire Muhammad School, and graduated high school there, all here in Los Angeles. The experience was a wonderful experience. The camaraderie of all of the students. The boys went to school in the morning, the girls went to school in the afternoon, 11 to 3. And a lot of times people would say that wasn't enough time, 3 hours, 4 hours of education. But it was plenty of time. Our teachers were Black, African American. They were educated, and they were dedicated to making sure that we had the best of education. And so that's my experience. My experience isn't the normal experience of African American child, but because I've been a Muslim all my life, and because I only went to Muslim schools, it has been a great experience. Our school was wonderful because it was beautiful. It was 3-story. First it was a 2-story. Then we moved from 5606 South Broadway in Los Angeles to 4016 South Central in Los Angeles. So we went from a 2-story facility to a 3-story facility. There was gilded gold, absolutely fantastic. Brother Phillips Bilal was a contractor, and the work that he did to the old historical Elks building here on Central Avenue was amazing. Of course, you know, with a historical building, you can't tear down or change the outside of it, but you can change the inside, and what they did in the inside was magnificent. So again, I would give you some of my classmates. My high school graduating classmates would be a young lady by the name of Nadira Shakur. She's also known as Grammy nominated artist. And she received her Grammy with the musical band Arrested Development. That was our valedictorian in 1976, 75, 76. Sorry, showing my age, so I have to get those numbers right, but 75, 76. And then my another fellow graduate is a 6-time Grammy winner, 2-time Oscar-nominated Saida Garrett, who also co-wrote Man in the Mirror, and who is the only entertainer to ever tour as a musician with Michael Jackson. So that's just a hint of my graduating class and classmates. One of the experiences that I had was I went into the service. I joined the United States Navy and in 1980. And this reference is about the school. As students, we know what we had to learn. We knew that the quality expected from us was extremely high. But as children graduating out of these schools, we had no idea how good our education was. For example, our school here in Los Angeles was accredited, and that happened eventually to all of the other schools around the United States. But California was pretty much the first accredited Muslim school, and that was because of Brother Nadar Ali Sr. He's also the same person who negotiated the contract with Peru to bring the whiting H&G fish to America. Before then, we never heard of whiting, but he is that responsible person. So when he finished with his tenure as the director, national director of the Muslim schools, he went into the fish thing. But how did our schools get accredited? Because Nadar Ali Sr. was our principal, and he made sure that we went through the Los Angeles, California Unified School District, and they had to accept our curriculum, and because it was awesome, and so we were accredited. I just did an interview with him about 2 months ago, and it was a lot of things that I had not heard about, of his trials and tribulations of building a school. And what he said was, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, part of the Nation of Islam, had put out that he was looking for educators. And Nadar Ali Sr., who was also known at that time, he wasn't Nadar Ali, he was Bobby Jones, Bobby 5X Jones. So he submitted a resume to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for this education position. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked him, well, what are you doing right now in the Los Angeles community? And he said he was cleaning up around the mosque. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that's a waste of your energy. Now, this man was an educator, so he had degrees. You know, he was he was qualified to teach school. And so Honorable Elijah Muhammad told Bobby 5X Jones that what he wanted to do was to build up the schools, start schools here on the West Coast. And so that's what he did. The first school was in Los Angeles. We're talking the 1960s. Before then, there were no Muslim schools. We were only being home taught, or we had Saturday schools. He started in Los Angeles. He started in Oakland, San Francisco, and San Diego. Eventually, we had schools all around the United States. And to this day, we still have schools all around the United States and outside the United States, including Bermuda and Belize. So again, the students, we had no idea of the education that we had received from the Nation of Islam, the University of Islam, and Sister Clara Muhammad School. So when I joined the military and we had to test, I tested extremely high. No one's ever told me what that score was, but I had the detailer trying to get me into science fields, and he wanted me to be go to air traffic controller school. I wanted to go into medicine, so I never did follow what he wanted. Be honest with you, I was 20 years old. I didn't even know what air traffic controller was. Now, if I had known what air traffic controller was, I probably would have bypassed the medicine and went into that field. But nevertheless, that's just my story of the level of education we received. But I could give you, introduce you to many alumni of the Muhammad school system, and they'll tell you the same thing. To this day, we have the new dean of Morehouse College is an alumni of the Muhammad school system. And so 22 years ago, I'm gonna back up. When I was in the service, one of our classmates here, darkest Marl Green, was trying to start an alumni association for California. And she wasn't getting a lot of attention because we were young and we were living our lives. It was our first time into a public college. It was the first time away from home. So we were experiencing life for the first time, and we really didn't have any time for what she was trying to do. Once I got out the military, I remembered what Darkest was trying to do. And so a group of alumni here in Los Angeles, we got together and we formed an alumni association. I travel quite a bit, and every time I travel, what I always hear is from alumni of Muhammad schools is, yes, we tried to start an alumni program here, and it ends up 1 or 2 people are working on it, and it becomes too much for people. So 22 years ago, we started the Alumni Association, but instead of making it just pertaining to Los Angeles, we made it national. So it became the University of Islam, and Sister Claire Muhammad School National Alumni Association. And so our mission, our vision, and our objective was to, one, first of all, let all of the alumni around the United States, around the world, know that there is a National Alumni Association. To this day, we're still in the process of letting alumni know we exist. And so what we started doing in 2000 was we started hosting our national alumni reunions in a different location instead of just California. And so to date, we've held a reunion in California, Chicago, Carolinas, Florida, and Maryland.